Waukesha's hometown station, AM 1220 KHTS. This is Home 411 on AM 1220 KHTS, hosted by Randall Winter of Randall Winter Construction. You can find more information at hometownstation.com or calling 799-8089. More information about Randall Winter Construction. We're touching on a ton of stuff here. Landscaping. We also got some electrical stuff, and we're going to wrap things up here. Put a nice little bow on this show.
Yeah, we're going to have more next week. We'll be talking about
every
waterproofing and all kinds of good stuff.
Every Wednesday, 10 a.m. We're going to be you're going to be on the air. So all the home information you need.
I'm going to switch back to Jeff Softly of Softly Electric because we're talking about outside and water, and one of the biggest things that I know is a problem. Water and electricity don't mix, right, Jeff? I know the answer, but I'm going to play dumb here and ask you a few questions. What do we do? What do we do to the outlets to protect the homeowner from getting hurt?
Well,
all outside outlets.
Outside outlets, yeah, GFI receptacles. You've got to have these. Your ground fault interrupter receptacle is what it is, and it just it trips. It's very sensitive to moisture, is what these things are. So they'll trip immediately. They're like a little mini circuit breaker, is what they are. And anytime they'll detect slight moisture or a ground fault, they'll trip immediately, and it's about safety.
Yeah, we don't want anyone to get hurt. So I remember studying when I took my test. They talked about when I was doing the research that, or someone told me it trips in much less time than the normal going all the way back to the breaker, and much less wattage or amperage.
Yeah.
And so therefore, older person like me, with the bad heart, which I don't have, I hope, it could be saved in the event that there's a short and they're touching those wires.
Absolutely, yeah, they do trip. They trip. I don't know what the rating is, but they trip much quicker.
In
than
milliseconds.
Yeah. Milliseconds.
Millisecond, milliamp.
I had a situation. A guy years ago. He had a GFI. He had a mirror in his bathroom. It was a full-on mirror over his bathroom countertop, and his GFI kept tripping on the mirror. He had it embedded in the mirror with a glass cover for the GFI. And the GFI kept tripping, and so he couldn't determine why. So I went over there and looked at this thing, and what had happened was the mirror itself water was being splashed up on the mirror, and the mirror itself was pulling in moisture because mirrors, they're porous to some extent. And that GFI was sensing the moisture in that mirror itself and was tripping. It was just amazing how quickly they will trip.
So GFI is really important, and then they do go bad.
Absolutely. Well, there's a reason that they say if you look at a GFI on the instructions, or even actually on the GFI itself, it says test monthly. There's a reason for it. If you don't test these things on a regular basis, they will go bad. It's just uncanny how these GFIs will go bad, because I get calls all the time. Well,
and how do we test it, Jeff?
Well, you hit there's two buttons on there. There's a test button, and then there's a button that says reset. So you hit the test button, it should pop right out, and then you hit the reset button and it should reset itself. On the new ones, there's a little light on them.
Shows that it's
shows that it's tripped or not. Mm-hmm. And so, but the thing is, a lot of people don't understand that, and they don't really pay attention to that. And if they don't trip those things on a regular basis, they will go bad. It might take several years for them to go bad, but they will.
And if they go bad, then they won't have any power at that outlet. Whatever they plug in there won't work.
Well, they might have power at that outlet. They might not have power at an outlet that's
coming out
on the protection side of it.
Right, which it's supposed to do. Now, changing a GFI outlet or any outlet outside should be on a GFI, but changing an outlet, is that something you recommend a homeowner do?
Well, you've got to respect electricity. So if a homeowner is going to do it, I recommend turning off a circuit breaker, making sure that circuit is completely dead, and duplicate what you see inside the GFI, how it's wired up itself, or actually the GFI comes with wiring instructions. So
because there's a line and a load, and there could be more than just the neutral and the hot feeding that GFI. There could be wires going out to another area, which is called the load, right?
Right, the load, right.
So that wire could be feeding another outlet that's protected or not protected by that GFI.
By that GFI.
So just be careful, turn the power off, put it on just the way you found it.
Right.
And if you're not comfortable with doing it, then we should call Jeff at Jeff Softly Electric.
Give us a call. Yeah, we'll come over and change that thing out immediately for you.
So we got Lori's change out, okay?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
It's all done.
You know, you talk about GFIs. You know, we come in contact with GFIs frequently because we will get calls from someone because oftentimes you'll have a sprinkler controller mounted outside.
Oh, yeah.
It's in an outlet. You get a call saying there's no power that's there to the sprinkler controller. First thing we say is, can you check your GFI and test that reset button? Because people don't realize water can infiltrate. Even if you've got one of those waterproof covers over it, someone might spray it with a hose. Who knows? You just get a couple drops in there and it's here.
Yep.
But if your lights don't work on your lighting timers, first thing I would do is to check that GFI.
Check that
Great
GFI.
information, guys. Thank you so much, Jeff and Jeff.
Thank you,
Jeff
Randy.
Softly,
Yeah.
Jeff Brown, NV Landscaping, Softly Electric. Really appreciate all the good input. I hope you out there in hometown, awesome Santa Clarita, enjoyed it, and we'll see you next week.